Have you ever heard the story of a hitchhiker who simply vanishes into thin air? It's a tale whispered in hushed tones, often late at night, a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. Imagine a lone driver on a dark and winding road, headlights illuminating a solitary figure seeking a ride. The encounter seems innocent enough, a simple act of kindness offered to a stranger in need. But as the story unfolds, the hitchhiker disappears, leaving behind an empty seat and a chilling sense of unease. This is the unsettling premise of The Vanishing Hitchhiker, one of the most enduring and widespread ghost stories ever told. Passed down through generations, it has captivated audiences and fueled imaginations for centuries. Is it a cautionary tale, a manifestation of our deepest fears, or simply a product of overactive imaginations? The answer, like the vanishing hitchhiker themselves, remains elusive. The Vanishing Hitchhiker falls into the category of urban legends, those captivating tales that weave their way into the fabric of our collective consciousness. Urban legends are a form of modern folklore, often based on rumor, superstition, or a kernel of truth that has been embellished and exaggerated over time. They typically involve elements of mystery, horror, or the supernatural, preying on our primal fears and anxieties. These stories spread like wildfire, passed from person to person, often mutating and evolving with each retelling. The Vanishing Hitchhiker in particular has a remarkable ability to adapt to different cultures and time periods, taking on new forms while retaining its core elements of mystery and suspense. This adaptability is perhaps one of the reasons why it has remained such a potent and enduring legend for so long. The origins of the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend are shrouded in mystery, its roots reaching back centuries. Some scholars believe it may have originated in Europe, drawing parallels to ancient folklore about fairies, spirits, or other supernatural beings who would lure travelers to their doom. Others point to early American folklore, particularly tales of lost souls or restless spirits seeking passage to the afterlife. One of the earliest written accounts of a vanishing hitchhiker story can be traced back to the 19th century, appearing in newspapers and magazines of the time. These early versions often featured a young woman as the hitchhiker, her sudden disappearance leaving the driver shaken and bewildered. Section 4, Across Continents and Cultures, Variations on a Spectral Theme. As the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend spread, it crossed geographical boundaries and cultural divides, taking on unique characteristics in different parts of the world. In the United States, the story became particularly popular in the mid-20th century, fueled by the rise of automobile travel and the open road. The vast highways and desolate stretches of America's heartland provided a fertile backdrop for tales of ghostly encounters and unexplained disappearances. Europe, with its ancient castles, winding roads, and rich folklore tradition, also embraced the legend. From the misty moors of England to the shadowy forests of Germany, stories of vanishing hitchhikers have been told and retold for generations. In Asia, the legend often takes on a more spiritual dimension, with the hitchhiker sometimes appearing as a monk or a wandering spirit seeking enlightenment or release from earthly tethers. Section 5, The Anatomy of a Mystery, Unpacking the Vanishing Hitchhiker. Despite its many variations, the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend typically follows a familiar pattern, with several key elements appearing in most versions of the story. The setting is often a dark and isolated road, usually at night, creating an atmosphere of vulnerability and suspense. The driver is typically alone, enhancing the sense of isolation and making them more susceptible to suggestion or fear. The hitchhiker themselves is usually a solitary figure, often a young woman dressed in white, further playing into our cultural associations of white clothing with ghosts and mourning. The hitchhiker may provide cryptic warnings, ask to be taken to a specific location, or leave behind a personal item that later disappears, or reveals a connection to the afterlife. And of course, the central element of the story is the hitchhiker's sudden and unexplained disappearance, leaving the driver to grapple with the unsettling experience and question their own sanity. As we delve deeper into the legend of the Vanishing Hitchhiker, it's essential to consider the modern testimonies that keep this story alive. While the classic elements remain, contemporary accounts have adapted to fit our current world. Drivers on late-night journeys have reported picking up mysterious passengers who vanish without a trace, often leaving behind an eerie sense of déjà vu. These stories come from all corners of the globe, transcending cultures and languages, proving that the vanishing hitchhiker is not just a relic of the past, but a living, breathing part of our collective psyche. One particularly chilling account comes from a driver in the early 2000s who recounted picking up a young woman on a rainy night. She was drenched and shivering, but as soon as she got into the car, a strange calmness enveloped the atmosphere. She directed the driver to an old abandoned house on the outskirts of town. When they arrived, she simply vanished, leaving only a puddle of water on the seat. These modern sightings remind us that the line between the known and the unknown is thinner than we might like to believe. They invite us to question our understanding of reality and the stories we tell ourselves to make sense of the world. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share your experiences in the comments. Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain? Let us know in the comments below.